faster, healthier, better.
Hey guys, welcome back into the Get Off of Mindset podcast. Appreciate you guys coming on.
Thank you.
Having us. No worries, no worries. Everybody had their own little alcoholic drinks today, so you're having wine. Yeah, we're sharing a beer, and you're having a liquid death. If nobody's ever heard of it, it's just water. Show it. Just water. So I've had the pleasure of doing a podcast with each and one of you guys. So we've kind of explained your guys' backgrounds and stories, but I want to start off these questions with, why did you guys want to be a trainer? So we'll start with you.
Cool. I'm in.
They wouldn't get it.
Yeah, my story kind of started a little bit later in life. I spent most of my 20s kind of chasing fat loss and not really understanding what strength training was and how to build muscle and how to eat properly to fuel all that. So, I ran a lot. I did a ton of cardio. I cut carbs out. I did all that stuff. And when I was approaching my late 20s, got pregnant. And I realized that, something needed to change, and I really needed to kind of focus on strength training. And I wanted to do this to have a healthy pregnancy and then be able to be stronger post-baby. So funny enough, I met Chris at a gym, and that's when I started my strength training journey. And from there, I just fell in love and realized what it did for my body and completely transformed and changed me as a person too. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how my journey started.
I love it. Really? Robby?
I want to start by saying, if you hear me coughing over the podcast, I apologize. Got this weird bug 2 weeks ago and 3 weeks ago, and the cough is lingering, so I'll try to hold it down as best I can. So if I'm crying, it's because I'm holding it back. Right there. In terms of my trainer story, I started off a bit younger. Overweight kid, wasn't into sports, didn't have any athletic background whatsoever. Started martial arts when I was 6 though, because my parents were just like, this kid is not doing anything else. Thank God for them. They kept me in it, and I did it for my entire life, and still do it to this day. Got the opportunity to start teaching kids that were starting around the same age I was when I kicked it off, and realized that it was the teaching of obviously working part-time in high school, grocery stores and retail, other industries, you don't really like it, but I realized I was only really happy and excited about teaching martial arts and fitness related classes. And I realized, might as well try to make that my profession. And my whole goal was to not hate going to work. So that was my idea behind it.
It's a good one.
The same lines like every other trainer for most case. I was an athletic kid growing up, so my parents had always put us into sports. From martial arts, soccer, football, basketball, everything was offered to us. But I think for me, what made me want to transition to training was I was working out at a gym, and I remember trying to do pull-ups. And I was like, how the hell do I do a pull-up? And this guy, he wasn't a trainer though, but he took the time to come over and actually gave me advice. He goes, I want you to try and do one every day. And I'm like, what? He goes, just try and do one every day. That's all you got. Because I watched him bang off 20, and I was like, okay. Probably a month into it, I'm finally getting 2 or 3 reps in. And so he talked to me. He goes, I've been watching you. He goes, I like your progress. And it was just that camaraderie and the way he's talking to me made me think, if I can do that for me, and I'm like, I could do that for somebody else. Yeah. So it started with helping my friend, and then from friends there just turned to end up managing a good. But at the end of the day, that was my initial start.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It was just helping people.
Yeah. A little similar to you. When I was younger, I had I joke around when I was younger, I had more daddy issues than a bus full of strippers. So I was a very angry kid. I had a lot of issues, right? So there's somebody that was close to me that helped me train and kind of channel everything I have inside. And he gave me so much in the sense of confidence and feeling better about myself, stronger about myself, and not, to be honest, just having respect for myself, right? Mind, body. And I just decided I really want to do that for everybody else. And we've talked about this before, but I really feel when you train somebody and you give them that confidence, it goes to other places, right? You make somebody, a husband, feel more confident in the gym. All of a sudden, maybe he's a better husband outside. Maybe he's a better coworker, better manager, and stuff like that. It doesn't just end in the gym. And I've felt that myself, right? And so I just want to give that to everybody else. So
why I do that.
So I've gathered up a whole bunch of questions that got sent to us, and also some kind of controversial questions also I've kind of looked up. I want everybody to be honest. I want everybody to also disagree if you guys disagree respectfully. So the very first thing is I want to know what your guys' training philosophy is with your clients. What's your guys' training philosophy?
I mean, I could start. My philosophy is more or less is changed, and I guess that's a progression with age and just with training different modalities and different types of people. I think initially when most of us start in the training industry, we want to train athletes. We always think, I'm going to be training athletes. I'm going to move on. I'm going to be like this, But then it actually changed a lot more. So for me, it's more mobility actually, because I find my generation is stiff and it's hard for us to move, and strength training. So nothing will ever be pure strength in terms of anything that the client wants to do, whether it's weight loss or whether it's gaining body strength or gaining weight for what competition. The body composition is always based off of strength. So those are my fortes: mobility and strength.
It's crazy that you say that too, because I trained a couple of hockey kids, and back in the day, like 30 minutes ago, for hockey, it was all about being like biggest and strongest and goons. But you see these hockey kids now, they're doing hot yoga, they're working on their mobility, working on their core, and working more of their agility, opposed to being the biggest, strongest. So it's good to like transition into that, I think.
Helps that rules of hockey have changed as well. Like they don't let you fight. They don't let you fight anymore. Like the rule of the goon has been like kind of gosh down to that culture.
Yeah.
What about you, Robby?
Some people might not like that very much, but
It is what it is.
It is what it is. It's evolution of sports and overall health. But my training philosophy, I would say, is also has changed over the last, like 10 years I've been doing this. I started out like only really knowing martial arts, taekwondo, Muay Thai, boxing. So all my clients come to me for that. They wanted to lose weight. They didn't want to do regular running cardio, which ironically now I do a lot more than anything else.
Wild.
But I used to only do that, whole paths for clients, put them through like conditioning circuits and this and that, because HIIT was like the best thing. It was like this new amazing fad, put together circuits, body weight, jumping fast, all this high intensity stuff. And now, doing my research, I'm kind of the same way. I'm all about like the fine fundamental balance of strength and conditioning, because like overall, whatever you want to do, lose weight, gain strength, build muscle, you have to be strong. You have to lift weights properly with good technique first and foremost. So I do take all my clients, whether they're new to the gym or have been there for 10 years, through like proper weightlifting, strength-based programming, and then based on what their goals are, modify there and allow them to do like cardio as well based on what they want, based on what they're training for. But I agree, like building a strong base of strength and all that stuff is the biggest thing for me and my clients.
Yeah, for me, what's really been important for me and my clients is trying to get them to change their mindset and not make it always about aesthetic goals. So when I meet people, they always say to me, especially women, men too, but like, I want to get lean. We talked a lot about this in the last podcast. And I was like, okay, well, do you want to lose 10 pounds in the next 3 months? Or do you want to ensure that in 20 years, you're going to be able to walk pain-free and play with your grandkids? Like, those are the things that's focused on, right? Like, once you focus on the basics and the importance of strength training, and you obviously like have a good diet, the aesthetics will come, right? But the benefits, the long-term benefits are what we're looking at, right? So moving pain-free, staying injury-free, really just trying to change their mindset and focused on the important stuff like you guys were talking about.
Yeah, I find a lot with trainings, it's all about the little things, right? A lot of people try to find the perfect program, try to find like the perfect rep ranges and sets and
Quick solutions.
They want that fast,
Yeah.
right? I mean, like, this 8-week program gonna get you swole, shredded, whatever. Like, what about after 8 weeks?
Yeah, what happens next?
What happens after? And I think the main thing is like people should understand, like when you decide that you want to become healthier and fitter, you also have to decide that this is what you're doing for the rest of your life. It can't be the 6 months on or whatever. And things happen. Like obviously, I had a great Christmas break. I don't know about you guys. Kind of just stuffy.
Yeah.
Like all like alcoholic drinks and stuff like that. But I moved. I walked. You know what I mean? If I couldn't work out or I didn't work out, I walked. I made sure that when I did work out, I made sure I put those calories to good use.
Yep.
Those carbs good use. And I've also made sure I was hydrated. But like I also like that. It's about finding your balance.
Yep.
Right. And I find like it's hard for like people to understand that like don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Right. Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
But everyone, that's just inevitable.
You're right.
That's just inevitable.
But yeah, sometimes it can be a little less daunting
Yeah.
if you kind of coach them through it.
And I think what Amber was saying, especially with the mindset aspect of it, like going into this new year, how many people made resolutions?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone makes resolutions. Like on Amazon, did you make resolutions? Like, not really.
No.
I mean, what I posted on social media was just like the skeleton version of what I was planning for the year. But like my personal stuff is my personal stuff. And it's just a list, but it's not a resolution, more or less. Because the problem with resolutions, like anything else, and with your clients, is there's a finite stop. And so it's like you said, I'm going to do this 8-week program. So what happens after 8 weeks? I'm going to do this short term, or like I want to be whatever in this upcoming year. So what happens after that year? And I think that's the problem. So the mindset has to be more or less like it's a continuation. It's not just this is where the buck stops.
Yeah.
It's what happens after that, and what happens after that. So like all my program is always based on. So this is the plan for this. Then we have this coming up here, and then what if, life happens, kids, whatever happens. So then how do we change things? People need to know to be able to do that, to move one step forward, or to become 1% better each day.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing I just want to reiterate. So that's why when I don't make resolutions, I try and often tell people don't bother making a resolution, because you're going to upset yourself in the following year and you realize you didn't hit it.
It's true. Yeah. I like I posted about my goals, but it's like they're goals, they're not resolutions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're goals I gotta hit.
Very different.
And then you always gotta write goals, and then how you gonna get there, and then what happens when you pivot? You have to pivot, right?
There's a lot of people actually going around like saying that resolutions are almost like a dying trend, or like like you said, don't do them, because like a resolution is almost something that like you said two different things. You said resolution and a goal. Like a resolution is almost like something you want to change about yourself, right? So that's like you're trying to fix this, like most people's resolution. I want to get in shape this year, implying that they're not in shape, like currently, or a good shape for what they want to be, and like their resolution is to change that about themselves. Where a goal is just something you want to work towards. You're already probably on the way there. You just got to maybe make a few adjustments based on what you want. Like, okay, so right now I'm at A. I want to get to B. But where I'm at now might get me a little bit closer. But if I want to get to B at this right time, I just gotta adjust a few things. That's not a resolution. Like you're already working out, you're already in shape. You just want to change up those goals a little bit, and that's perfect.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think that's just how we have to view all these things. Like it's not about. I kind of lost it. It's not about like fully changing what you're doing. It's about making these adjustments to get where you want to go. Right? Like.
That's true. Well, that actually perfectly goes to my next question. How do we keep our clients motivated and engaged?
It comes down to goal setting, I think. And it's weird to say it, but it comes down to like, and then everyone does this, but with my clients, it's always like, we have a Monday conversation. So it's more or less like, so how'd the weekend go? Blah, blah, blah. Did you like, if they messed up, whatever, they were talking, I ate this. I'm like, that's okay. That's not the end of the world. So you ate something, you drank something. You can always restart and refix and focus on whether it's your macros that you're following or whatever it is that you want to do. But it's like, what else happened during that time? Like whatever happened to you during that weekend, what set you off, or or let's celebrate what you did right. Like,
a lot of people do.
They focus on the negative aspect of it as opposed to like, what went well for you on the weekend? What did you do good? But it comes down to the goal setting and just reiterating back to the person's why, I think, because that gets lost. Like with motivation, like I said, everyone was motivated 2 weeks ago to get into the gym, but I guarantee those same people like, son of a bitch, right? Because there's no real intrinsic things. Like, I want to lose weight, but what's the reason why? You want to lose it because you want to lose it, or you want to lose it because everyone else thinks that you should lose it? Like, so why are you losing? Because if you're happy, if you technically, and I say this to anyone, if you're happy with, the way you are, and then be happy. Like, there's no reason to change anything. Stay happy. But if what you're doing or the state that you're in is not conducive to making you feel better, then maybe you should look at doing a change, or what small steps do you need to do to become that much better. It all comes down, I think, with the goal setting at the beginning of the week and then having a plan, because in my gym that I have right now, it's like we do a weekly thing. It's a check-in, but they do weekly check-ins. So that's what I'm saying. It's like every week. So like, what happened? Like you said, you're going to lose 2. So what happened? what about, and then you focus on, okay, so how am I going to fix that this week?
That's true. There was a saying I heard a couple of months ago, and it was like, motivation is great, but it's like showers needs to be had like daily, right? So every morning you need to not make yourself, that sounds really bad, but remind yourself why you're doing this, right? And then the discipline comes. Discipline is huge, right? Motivation will get you there, but discipline will help you stay.
Yeah.
Discipline and dedication. Because there are days, I'm sure everyone has agreed, there's days we don't want to work out either.
Every day.
All the time.
I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna lie. Every day I'm like,
To me, that's like how I motivate myself and my clients is like celebrating the little wins. Like there's a ton of days I don't want to work out. So if I in the middle of the workout, I'm like, yeah, I did this. Like I'm doing it, right? Like if I floss, I'm like, sweet, like I flossed today. You know, like
that's a real thing, and that's amazing.
Like that is amazing, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you. But no, like this whole like my clients are like, I want to squat this, I want to deadlift this. I'm like, how about we get a little bit deeper range of motion? That's a little win, right? Like rather than getting like 10, 20 pounds more on your squat, like how do your knees feel today? They feel great. That's a huge win, actually, right? But it's like focusing on the little wins rather than like just having these like big massive goals. And like that's really hard. I mean, yes, we've all achieved big massive goals, and it's great to see that, and those need to be celebrated. But more importantly, the little goals that we get along the way.
Right, and then that's it. So it's like, I think it's okay to have the massive goal.
Yeah,
but like the whole reason why you do the goal setting aspect of it is to, how do we chip that mountain down?
Yeah,
so it's
exactly.
Small bites at a time. So that you have something to celebrate at the end. It's like, you know, like you said.
And consistency. I took a shower today. That's a real thing I have to do. Yeah, finally. Trust me, I know.
Fine.
But yeah, it's consistency compounds. Those little goals build every now and then. Yeah. Next thing you know, it's been a couple weeks and you kind of like lost track of things. Not lost track. You kept track of things, but you weren't so focused on the big one. You focused on the little ones. Next thing you know, that big one has come.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from? Awesome.
Yeah.
Even better.
When it comes to habits and rituals, like you don't think about brushing your teeth. You just wake up, brush your teeth, and go about your day.
Yeah.
No.
But well, that's sure that's one thing. But it's a habit. It's a ritual. It's like you've been doing for so long. It's like you don't think about it. But for people that are new to the gym, we need that to become, or new to fitness, or new to whatever it is they're doing. They need to realize this is going to become a habitual thing. But you need to set certain things in motion so that it's not going to be easy every day. It's not going to be something you're going to want to do every day.
Oh yeah.
But by doing it every day, just like, even if it's a 5-minute, 10-minute thing that you have to do, but making these little small wins for yourself will eventually lead to the end goal.
It's true. I think that goes back to also overthinking. Overthinking what you got to do. Because right now I'm reading the 5 a.m. club book, and what they say is to set up the rest. Obviously, morning rituals is a big thing, right? Yeah. Everybody talks about it, but most people don't actually do it, right? But I feel like once you actually have a morning ritual, it can change everything. And in the 5 a.m. club book, it says if you can set up 2 little wins in the morning, it sets up the wins for the rest of the day, right? Because it gives you that confidence. It's like, okay, I stuck by that. I'm going to read 10 pages, or I did a prayer, or I did 20 push-ups or whatever, and you stick to that discipline too. Because it's like that term, discipline is the best form of self-love, right? Because you're telling yourself, I love you enough that I'm going to stay close to what I said with the eating, with working out and stuff like that. So I think morning rituals is a big one too for clients to have a good rest of the day also. So that's why I think with that. So another question I wanted to ask you guys is, what have you guys changed in the sense of training in the first year as a coach? What you thought how you should train people in the first year as to now?
Oh God. I think we kind of mentioned earlier about like everything.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the beginning thing was like, so before CrossFit was a thing, I was always kind of like cross training. And my whole thing was like, I'm going to kill you like today. And like, you know, and if my first, work the shit out of you today. So if someone, so if someone was like, you know, doing push-ups, I'm like, okay, and they're dying. I'm like, you're not dying yet. You got 20 more in you. What? No. So.
And their form is broken down.
It's cool with that. Form was not even a part of anything.
You're just like on the ground. The session was over.
That was it. It's just like work you to death, and that's it. See you next week.
Yeah. You know, come back for more.
So, but that's changed a lot.
So much more mobile, like as you were saying.
Like I'm saying, now it's
like we're gonna squat today. You're gonna do 10 minutes of mobility before you even
you're sitting on a wall
before you're touching a barbell.
I had this kid this morning, and he's just like, his sister is not, and so like there's that, I guess,
Competition.
between the two.
Oh yeah.
Right? But he's younger. And I was like, okay, don't focus on what she's doing. She's been with me longer. So yeah, she's lifting. She was deadlifting like 185. And they may look bad. She's 14.
Holy.
Nice.
Yeah. So he's like, he can do that too. I said, I won't even be able to pick that up. And he's like, but why couldn't I? I'm like, I'll tell you why. I go, you haven't trained that way. And your body, like, so you don't have that hunchback, that rounded back and everything like that. So I made him use bands the whole entire time. And he was like pissed off the whole entire time. And I'm just like, you can't do.
How old is he?
Wait,
Steps.
he's 13. So,
Okay, so they're pretty close.
Yeah, they're close in age. But he's bigger than her. Yeah. He's not athletic. So it's like, oh geez, you can't really, it's like apples and oranges. Like she's an athlete, you know?
Yeah.
You different. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just the difference in training. But like, I think she was laughing. She's like, how come you made him do a bands of it? Because his form was horrible. Like, I'm not going to put a bar on his back and then broken,
Yeah.
you know? Like, even though they're saplings, when they're young, you know, or just bend and they can snap back. Unlike me, I'll just snap. So stays back then, but and he'll recover faster. But at the end of the day, I'd rather install because they have no bad habits when they're young. That's why I like training the younger athletes because they don't have like the things that adults do. So it's easier for them to do the mobility. It's easier for them to understand and have better body mechanics when they're doing it in exercise.
Yeah.
That's like how I focus with those guys. But yeah, as opposed to killing them, no longer killing, and proper mechanics and learning how to move properly is it's changed for me.
I mentioned it earlier too. Like I still hold pads for clients who want to, because as they learn the skill, great way to supplement their training. Like I don't make that their whole thing. I don't make it all like cross training anymore. I used to do same thing, just circuits, get the heart rate up, sweat your ass off, lie on the ground for a bit, and then come back next week and do it again. Right?
Yeah.
Now it's more like structured programming, strength training blocks. We're going to do the same thing every week. We're going to progressively overload a little bit. If you can handle it, either we increase volume, load, or increase your range of motion if you can, like you said. Things like that to overall make you stronger, better, and will in turn make you, like, if you want to get leaner, it'll make you leaner in the long run, or build more muscle, all that stuff, and make you overall better for a longer period of time. But yeah, I used to not do strength training myself or with my clients. So nowadays that's like, I think that's like the top thing to do. So that's how my training has changed, like full 180.
Yeah.
Since I
I think we all kind of share a very similar storyline. I mean, for me, working with a lot of women, I just, I love just seeing the transition of women coming in. I'm like, I don't want to get too bulky. And I'm like, we'll get to that. Well, yeah, that's right. But like, teaching women to lift heavier, than they think that, just going beyond what they thought they were capable of. And like, once again, changing that mindset and getting them to do it safely and in a way that just makes them feel like so proud of themselves. And, that's a big focus of mine.
Yeah, I totally agree. Okay. Can we trust an out of shape trainer? I'll start with you, Emery.
I'm not going to say you can't trust an out of shape trainer. I mean, I have doctors who are out of shape. I do, I do think to a certain degree that like you need to live a healthy lifestyle if it's something that you truly are passionate and love. And I'm sorry, out of shape or unhealthy? Like
I think
when I say unhealthy,
I think we can all agree unhealthy is not good.
Yeah, like if my trainer's sitting there talking to me about how he doesn't exercise, or he or she, doesn't exercise, then he's going to go eat a hot dog after, and do all these things, and like, that's motivating to me. And I'm like, well, if you're telling me to do one thing, like, absolutely.
So I think he's more on the superficial. You're talking about like aesthetics. So like, do they have to have a six pack or something like that?
Does the trainer have to have a six pack or
absolutely
pack or what?
No, because I'm me. I don't.
Yeah,
I'm pretty good.
I have a two pack.
Yeah.
That, and also like,
no,
if your trainer, let's say, is working out like, I don't know, once or twice a week, and then you see them like they're obviously you should have balance, right? Like eating out with friends and stuff like that, that's normal. But a trainer that honestly doesn't look like a trainer.
I think,
but has the knowledge.
The trainer has the knowledge and the technique and is able to efficiently train me in a way that I feel is to the degree that I would expect. Then yeah, I don't care really what they look like.
I'm going to say I might have to disagree. Only because I think back before, I think maybe 5 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, it would have been totally different, right? So I think a trainer could have got away with being out of shape back then. But now, because of social media and things like Instagram and TikTok, you have all these, I guess they call them influencers, whatever. Right?
That's what
I
they call
think
them.
that's what's changed the industry. Like, so it's like more people not be motivated by somebody who's out of shape. And I just know that, I shouldn't do it, but the fit. So where I was before. I say, I know they'll heard it before. I don't care. I'm done living for other people. At the end of the day, I heard like from clients that it's like it's not motivational to see your trainer that's not G-shaped.
So I think that's kind of what I meant more. Like, honestly, when I work out and I don't want to work out, I think about, like, I need to be an example for my clients and for people, right? If I don't want to push through a workout that I don't want to do on a Sunday or Saturday, why the hell would they? You know what I mean? And I think that's important as a trainer. Like, listen, you don't need to be doing 1,000 pull-ups and deadlifting this and that, but I think you also have to, as a trainer, you have to push yourself hard, right? If you have to show, like, I don't want to do this, but I'm doing it because of the benefits in the long term, right? And if trainers like, no, I'll work out whatever, or I don't know.
I agree with you on the leading by example. I also agree that, like, if the person has the knowledge, like, think about how many, like, as we've watched.
I have an opinion about that too.
I agree that people can have, like, the knowledge to do something, but I also do agree they have to actually use that knowledge on themselves.
Live a healthy. So I'm not saying like
I get it.
Yeah, they're not completely.
But so okay, adverse. If you went to see a nutritionist and your nutritionist was out of shape, would you take their advice? Even though they have the knowledge, they have the schooling, they had everything behind it, but would you take your advice?
Go back to my doctor. Like, my doctor is not really the healthiest.
No doctors are. Sorry, very few. Except for, we had one doctor that was jacked. But I mean, I was like, yeah, but they most, it's probably on TRT. No, I don't even know. But I was just saying, most doctors are different. It's different.
What you think is out of shape, right? What you think is out of shape might be different from what I think is out of shape, right? So it's like a nutritionist. That's a fine line. Like, are we going to go into their body composition, what their body fat percentage is, and, you know, how much lean muscle?
I'm just saying, I know the reason why I brought that up.
You need to know this.
But the reason I bring that up is because the first Good Life I worked at, the lady that was working in childminding, from a conversation, and she was talking about her degree, and I'm like, you're a nutritionist? She's like, yeah. She goes, but who's going to take advice from me? I'm 270 pounds. Yeah, man. Yeah, because in my head I was like, yeah, I probably wouldn't. And that's just me. Yeah, it might be an asshole thing to think, but aesthetically, like, if I'm going to be with somebody, I want, like, and that's why people come to gyms or have a trainer. It's because they resonate with you in some way, shape, or form. So it's like, I kind of want to emulate or be like this person. So if they watch you work out a certain way, it's like, I kind of want to work out like that. Or if they see you, like, you know, how do I look like that? Like, how do I do what you're doing? So that's my
great question to post on your Instagram, actually, because we're trainers, and I think we have different views on that. I wonder what visit public will say.
That's true. Well, it's funny because when I used to work at Good Life, I remember there was tons of people who had way more knowledge than I did. But when it came to actually training people, they were shit because they couldn't connect. They couldn't actually be sympathetic with them. Right, they had all the knowledge, but they didn't know how to actually. Right. Yeah. But on the flip side, there were tons of people, guys I saw that were jacked and shredded, girls who were like super fit, but had no knowledge. They not only trained for themselves, but couldn't train for other people, and you gotta have that balance.
Yes, based on that, like, you can't necessarily trust anyone based solely on their aesthetics. 100%.
You judge a book by its cover. So.
Absolutely.
I know we're gonna read it.
Your favorite Gymshark athlete. I hate Gymshark, by the way. Your favorite Gymshark athlete. He was about to get the show. So,
you know, I don't even care. You know, they have to write like an NDA that they're not allowed to say that they're not natural.
Yeah, that makes sense, because
I don't care.
Gymshark athletes on YouTube, like, again, they'll have all these online programs, have probably never trained another person in their life, but here's what I did to get this jacked, minus the TRT. And here's what you can do, and they sell
liver cake.
So many. We'll get probably. Probably.
liver gang. And then we all good. That's so ridiculous.
Action clearly.
Yeah.
Everybody, yeah, but they're not allowed to do that because they'll probably lose their sponsorship because of that. But like, why do you see this 18-year-old Gymshark kid who's shredded to the bones deadlifting world record numbers, but he's not competing in any powerlifting competitions because he's going to get tested and get busted?
Yeah,
That's why.
I'm just gonna we could circle off here. We'll finish off here, but like I had a trainer, when I was pregnant, and who was not in shape at all, but he had 4 children, and he had worked with many women during their pregnancy, and I know you entrusted him. Like it wasn't the way he looked that made me not trust him as a trainer. He's actually a pretty good trainer. It was the fact that he would talk to me about all the stuff that he was doing outside of the gym. So if he had said, like, if he looked the way he looked and he's like, I'm going to work out today and I'm going to go home and have, a healthy dinner, then I would respect that. I wouldn't care what he looked like. But it was the fact that he just exuded this really unhealthy lifestyle. And that's what kind of made me like, man.
Actually, adding to that, yeah, like again, going back to like whether how aesthetic you are or not, it is about like being able to connect with people, but also maintaining that certain level of professionalism, right? Like, as much as we are like friends with our clients to a certain degree, like they don't need to know everything you're doing on the weekend. They don't need to know your whole life.
I totally agree. Okay, next question: body positive movement. How do we feel about it?
Oh boy. Okay.
You go first. So personally,
Okay. Sure.
So honestly, I don't like it. Okay, I don't like it because at the end of the day, when you are obese or in of it, you don't have to have 6-pack. You don't have to have less than 20% body fat or whatever. You just need to be healthier. Your heart, your blood pressure, everything has to be healthy. But for people to say it's okay to be that much bigger and you can have that kind of lifestyle and be healthy, that's not healthy. That's a lie. In my personal opinion, like you can't be like 500 pounds and be healthy. If you want to say, hey, I'm happy at that place or whatever, that's totally fine. Because everybody's entitled to be happy wherever they want to be happy. But don't tell me that that's healthy. That's not healthy.
It's not. And I think what they're going for is that like, be happy in your own skin, which that part I'm all for.
I'm for that too.
But I can guarantee you'll be happier if you are a healthy human being and where it won't necessarily gas you to walk up the stairs, right? I think body shaming overall is terrible. I think if you can convince someone that it would be for their benefit to get healthier, and sure, lose some weight if they have to get healthier and
Or gain.
improve. Sorry,
Or gain. We always think.
Sure. Oh yeah, of course. Whether you have to want to get more muscular or lose body fats, I think overall you will live a happier life. You will be a better person outside the gym as well because it will help you. I'm all for accepting who you are, but if there's something clearly not in the norm, if you're on a certain, like doctors have spectrums, they have like, oh, you're above this percentage, and we know what that can do to you. Like, and
I think that's the main thing. It's like, I think it's done a flip with this whole movement. So it's like, now it's like this toxic masculinity they're talking about, or it's like, what, like you said, body shaming. It's like, you can't even talk about a certain person or a certain type anymore without coming off as being insensitive. And this whole world is creating a more insensitive, like ever since this whole pandemic thing, the world has flipped and has become way more sensitive in every aspect and every little thing. So when it comes to that whole body positivity movement, for me, it's not so much, it's exactly what you said. It's like, yeah, be who you are in your own skin. And that's 100%. Like I said in the beginning, not everyone needs to work out. Not everyone needs to do these things, or if that's what you believe, or if that's how you feel. Yeah, you should strive towards a healthier lifestyle. It doesn't always mean you have to be in a gym to do it. It just means, take time or take steps to create a better life for yourself. Like, how would it feel to be able to hang out with your kids later on, or to play with your kid? I get it. Like, if you're extremely overweight, but it's like, I'm happy as I am. I don't want to work out, but I'm like, you want to be here a little bit longer than you are, because the reality is, and we all know this, is like, the more obese you are, the more weight that you do carry, you're gonna have more medical problems in the long.
Marshall,
That's the part that I hate, right? That's what I'm saying. The joints, everything like that. So for me, it's just a flip. So they're turning it on that people are fit, that we're insensitive, or that you shouldn't be saying that stuff. And I was,
But yeah, suddenly we're the assholes.
I don't think anybody's arguing with what you guys are saying. Like what you're saying is fact, right? But in terms of, you need to, we all want to live like a healthier lifestyle. But what I like about body positivity is that it's taught people to, love their bodies no matter what, small, skinny, medium, no matter what. I think like clothing companies have become like Good American, for example. Khloe Kardashian's can be like all of her models. Like she has a range of models, varying body sizes. Like all clothes are not made for one body type. Like whether you agree with their lifestyle or not, they are who they are, and they are entitled to wear the same clothes that everybody else is wearing. And I think it's opened up some really good avenues, and it's opened up some very dangerous avenues too.
I think it's I don't know. Everything, like I said, the last few years, especially in 2020, there's been a very different adverse and a very different flip on everything that we know that is normal or that was normal. And that's what my whole take on this is. Like, it's taken everything that we've already learned about fitness and health and flipped it around. And I understand what you're saying, and I do agree with that 100%. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if I look into the majority of my family, a lot of them are obese. A lot of them are, like, there's been a lot of obesity and a lot of people that are overweight. So in that aspect, I understand it. But don't tell me that it's 100% okay to stay at that weight or to be that person, and that's okay for lightly, because it's
no. I don't think people are.
That's the answer that's coming across.
But it is a dangerous too, I guess.
So that's
because
what
it can make like people like, because it can make people feel not good enough, and that's how like suicide. Like it's sometimes like fitness and like
It's also the suicide aspect.
But that's okay. So now we're going to mental health. But like, look what's happened over the last 2 years, right? To take kids, for instance. So kids that were born, or sorry, not born. So kids that were going to kindergarten or grade 1, it is kindergarten. Kindergarten would have been in 2020. So they would have been how old in kindergarten? Me? Flying off.
Yeah.
15. Okay, so you're 4 years old.
Yeah.
So by the time the pandemic's over, you're at 7.
Yeah.
Right, it's been 3 years almost. Yeah. So 7 years old. So if you think about those kids in the last 3 years that have been sitting there masked up, okay, and had to learn social distancing, had to be away from people. Right now, they're already finding that learning abilities, because a lot of schools missed, right? So a lot of that time has been taken away. Okay, they've been learning from home. They're not the same as kids that were like even 5 years prior to that. They're a little bit more advanced and have more social awareness. Where kids coming up are going to have that PTSD, like, oh my God, there was a time when there was all this fear going around, and that's all it was fear, like a crazy fear for everybody. And I'm not saying it was right or wrong, but I'm just saying the adverse effects, which we're finding out are going to come out later on once we start moving forward, that those kids are going to be affected by this whole scenario in the long run. So I just think it's a whole social, I don't even know what it is. Can't say it's an experiment, but it's just the way that's played out on everybody and the way that things are going with this body positivity movement, with all these other things that are coming out right now. It's just like, it's trying to change people's awareness. Like, did you know that they recently changed the definition of a woman?
No.
Did not know that.
yeah, like in the dictionary.
In the dictionary. So now anyone that identifies themselves
Oh, I see.
as
Yeah.
so they're changing that.
Yeah.
Are you telling me you're crazy?
Well,
To me, a woman who's like, you don't have a penis, you're a woman. That's it.
I read yesterday that some guy changed his gender to female so he can get rights of his kids and he got them.
He can get what sort of his
Rights to his kids, like custody.
Oh,
So
What does the gender have to do with custody?
well, I think the
to female.
I think the court usually favors the mother in those situations, and as far as I know, I do not know much about legal stuff at all. But
I'm just saying, this world's getting crazy.
yes, absolutely, it is, and there's so many things about it. But
I think personally it's amazing. I love that my kids are going to grow up like not thinking it's weird that their friend has 2 moms, or
oh, that is fantastic. That part is absolutely fantastic.
yeah,
But
like
but did they ever think? Do you think kids really think anything?
in my generation, yeah,
Really?
sure, yeah. If I was growing up and my friend had 2 moms, I'd have lots of questions.
Because kids are mean.
Absolutely, like kids are mean. It's just it's
still are.
parents, right? Like
They still are.
we weren't exposed to the same things that our kids are exposed to today.
Actually, looping back to what you were saying earlier about all these kids growing up like really young in this pandemic, there has been a study and it's finding that kids at a younger age, like in and around that age, are depressed.
Yeah.
How do you get depressed when you haven't even experienced life? anything
Yeah.
yet, right?
And
That's
that's the problem.
That's what's happened. That's because
happening.
it's extremely sad.
Depressed because they're kids. They should be happy.
Yeah, you should be like everything should be sunshine and rainbows. Like everything's the nudie.
Life hasn't happened yet. Sorry, man.
You haven't experienced a punch in the face yet from life.
Yeah. To go back to what you said though, I mean, I do think it's for the body positive movement, but I'm not even gonna call it body positive movement. I think it's good that now that there's more options clothing wise for women, because it does shame them a bit, I guess, right? If they don't feel like they have options, right? And that's how you can get like eating disorders,
For sure.
stuff like that. But I think also there has to be a line where it's like you can be healthier, but you don't have to lose like 100 to 300 pounds. I think, especially in an unhealthy way. Like,
Yeah, you don't need to look like a Victoria's Secret model, for example. No, but you also don't need to look like
people are not healthy either.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, but they are presented as such.
That's true.
Right? Like, right? Who's on all the magazines? Who's modeling all that lingerie, right? Like,
That's
changed.
changing, and that's what that is. Yeah.
For sure.
absolutely, right? So I think there's a lot more balance, which is fantastic. But at the same time, I do think there should be a push towards a healthy lifestyle, and where it's like, oh, like amazing, you look fantastic, but you could. Trying to say this without like sound like a total dick, but like strive to be healthier, like healthy in your skin. That's fine. Don't worry about the weight in the scale. I don't make my clients worry about that at all, but you should probably try to be healthier to make your life easier. And I think a lot of people are using the body positive movement as a way to avoid working out, to avoid putting in effort, and like a way to be lazier, because it's like, oh, I'm good the way I am, and that's great confidence. But I think everyone should strive to live a healthy lifestyle. Like, I still do it. I think I'm pretty healthy, but I still want to be better.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people are using this movement or whatever it is as almost as an excuse to like avoid doing the hard stuff.
Yeah.
So that's a rough conversation.
Wow, guys.
Yeah.
And I guess it's a good conversation.
Okay, so how do you guys think that the social media has changed the fitness industry? So personally,
Every single possible one.
for the worst. For the worst. I think all of a sudden, like we talked before, I saw like you can see jacked guys who don't know anything about training, all of a sudden making thousands, hundred thousands of dollars on this and that, and honestly, also for like insecure. Like I think I talked about it before in my podcast, but like sometimes when I have a great workout, like I'm feeling myself a little bit, I'm like damn, I'm looking good, and then I go on social media, like I am not looking good at all, and I compare myself unintentionally to these people. So if I do
Social
that,
media does.
yeah, if I do that, I'm sure somebody who doesn't work out does that, right?
Social media is designed to make you feel like crap,
Yeah,
basically,
yeah,
right? And it's designed to make you feel like you're not living your lifestyle, and this is what you should strive towards, or what you should do. And then there's that jacked guy what's his name, whatever king, whatever, who was like, you should pay me money.
Well, that's
to look like this.
even more like when. Listen, like,
He's not the first to do it.
he's not.
No, he's not.
No, one of the first to get exposed though.
Yeah, but who's that other guy? Kino Body. Remember, there's a lot of stuff for him.
Oh,
All those guys that sell
his name's like from Toronto, actually.
Yeah.
Gallagher or something.
Yeah, him. There's like a bunch of them. V-Shred. All these.
V-Shreds. Everyone needs V-Shreds.
They're not new. It's not new. Liver King was just the newest one for this era.
But the funny thing is, like, we knew he was on. Like, this.
Normal people wouldn't.
You did?
I think everyone in the industry knew, but I think the average person.
Yeah, I agree with Chris. The average
Just
person
knew-
would just like he's saying
Just think about how many 100,000 people bought his program and are eating what he was eating. Oh, which was disgusting. But I'm just like, all these people that bought into that thought, oh, if I do this,
Yeah,
at least that's the part I don't like.
Yeah.
What you got to do, but like scamming people or
Yeah, well,
misleading them in that way, it's like that's the part I don't like. Like, take the supplement, you're gonna look like me. Do this, you're gonna look like me. Follow this program. Oh, it's,
Yeah. I completely agree with you on that note. Like, if you want to do, God knows, all the anabolics you want to do and look a certain way, and here, do you. Just obviously don't try to compete in a sport and claim you're natural, and don't try to convince other people who wouldn't know any better that they can look like you by being natural. That's where I draw the line. But you want to do all the anabolics? Go ahead.
I'll just do your thing. Is natty or not, it doesn't matter.
You
care?
No,
Are you
I don't know. Like, and honestly, if had a person on, and he was completely open to be.
Yeah,
Respect more.
Yeah.
If somebody's like, yeah, no, what do you do or whatever, we talk about it. He's like, yeah, man, but you know, he jokes around, but I do train also. I'm like, oh shit, God, like respect.
Yeah.
And you're very honest about it, but that's what bothers me. And then two, if they start trying to sell like supplementation, I'm like, oh, I take this creatine.
Of course.
I say, yeah, you take creatine? Yeah, I'm sure a little bit more than creatine.
Okay. What's in the creatine?
Yeah, exactly.
What was that documentary? Bigger, Stronger, Faster. That was about the supplement industry. But I remember the one guy flew for back in the days was Muscle Bag, and he was he was like in every magazine, and he was talking about taking this supplement that got him as ripped as he was. But on this Bigger, Stronger, Faster,
They don't buy any of those.
yeah, well, the guy that's in the documentary is talking about the steroid cycle he's on, and the guy's like, well, won't this ruin your endorsement deal? He goes, am I being recorded?
Oh God.
I wish we had their TV so we
Yeah. No, it was like, they probably scrubbed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he lost his, he was no longer in muscle.
Yeah.
Doesn't do it.
I think it's like a super, I mean, we've talked about this before too. It's an incredibly toxic environment. You know, for me specifically, speaking about women, young children, I have 2 young girls, 9 and 7. I'm terrified for when they are eventually exposed. They're asking for it. It's a hell no right now, but I can't keep them secluded, you know, in a bubble forever. And eventually they will have to be exposed to that. And I think if you go in, you know, with some body positivity and, you know, understanding that what your body is capable of. And, you know, my daughter's a gymnast, so we talk a lot about eating to fuel her body so that she can get stronger. And, you know, like she sees me eating, like I eat a ton of food, right? And so I'm always like showing her what I eat and, you know, mommy eats this so that I can have an amazing workout tomorrow. And I think, you know, going on social media and then so when women, especially, and maybe men do this too, I just, maybe my algorithm is there's a lot of women trainers showing what they eat in a day, showing what their workout was today. It's like, hey, but you didn't show me what you were doing the other 23 hours of the day. How much sleep did you get?
Right.
You know, like what's your stress level at? Like everything else. And it's just like people are like, oh, she eats oatmeal with egg whites every morning. Okay, that's what I have to do. You know, I'm gonna look like her. Oh, she does 20 hip thrusts every day. Okay, that's what I gotta do to get her ass. Like it's so beyond ridiculous. It's a little glimpse of their life, and people take that way too far. And, you know, think that if they replicate what they're doing on Instagram, they're gonna look the same and be the same. And it's so toxic.
It's
There is I do like though about social media right now is that and going back to more body stuff, there is actually uprising of like muscular looking women that are like,
that's true actually.
that is not like, and it's not being like, it's not scary anymore, right? It's not gross anymore. That is a good thing. But I do agree though, again, so many people look on Instagram, myself as well. I mean, again, being an unathletic kid, even before social media, you go to the freaking Walmart and you see ads of dudes with 3 girls and they have shredded six packs, something like that. So that was like Instagram before, and now it's got even worse because again, now you see a kid who's like, again, 18, like shredded to the gills, like flexes, and you see every striation possible. I'm like, holy crap, what am I doing? What am I doing wrong? And I've done this for years. I'm like, what am I missing here?
It's a cycle.
Yeah.
PCT, baby.
Going back on that, 100%.
That actually goes into my next question. When do we add supplementation with our clients? So to add to what we were saying about social media, I have a client and he's like, you know, I saw, who did he see doing basically pre-workout? He's like, I saw Derek for more places, more dates. You know, should I take Gorilla Mind? And I was like, no, you don't even have your G1. Like, man, no, you don't have to start taking this. And I think pre-workouts for sure, definitely no. I think it's okay to take greens. It's okay to, like, you know, fish oil. I think they need to be taught. Even when you're older, to be honest, even when you're like 35, 40, you don't know anything about supplementation, I think you should be taking vitamins all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, they're designed to help you, and that's the reason why. Like, if you go back before vitamins were around, or way before vitamins were around, people were dying at 35, and that was like lifespan. Everything we do today is designed to prolong life, kind of thing, right? That hopefully make us a little bit healthier. At the same time, people are just getting bigger and bigger anyway.
Chris, you look like you got
something to say.
No, I don't. I'm brewing because it's twofold, right? So I'm not against supplements per se, because they do have their place. But a lot of the sports supplements, I'm not really into it all. And most will know that I don't really, I don't, for myself, maybe, but for a client, never.
Yeah.
Like, I don't promote
Same
or
as me.
push clients to take anything at all, not even protein.
I don't even talk about it. Well, that's not true. If I get asked, like we
Right.
talk about supplements.
Oh yeah, I never bring it up personally.
But what I do say is how much sleep did you get? What did you eat before you came here? How much water did you drink? Those are my three things. That's what I care about. Nothing in this world, no supplement is going to give you more power and strength than those three things.
100%.
Power and real strength.
Real power and real strength.
100%.
Can you take supplements to maybe
Boost your increase.
Sure. I know, but
Well, that's short term.
That's what they are, though. They're supplements to hopefully
Exactly.
follow a healthy lifestyle. You have to eat properly, sleep enough, live a balanced lifestyle, and then you can maybe, based on what they're eating, like fill in the gaps. Like if they can't possibly get enough veggies in the day, then sure, maybe a greens powder could help.
yeah.
But try to get enough veggies first. Yeah.
Supplementing is adding to it. So like, I'm not, that's what I said, I'm not adverse to it. And if there are certain clients that will need something, right? Just depending on what it is. And if you have good supplementation knowledge, 100% go ahead. But most people don't, like, unless you're taking that course or that, like, to understand that world.
Yeah.
And so many people just, oh, take this and this and this, and you need a creatine, and you need, no.
Yeah.
No.
And to add to what you just said, like I was reading something and the guy said, like, if you're sleeping like less than 5 to 6 hours and you're trying to like take like all these pre-workouts, all you're doing is like, he described it as you're stepping over $100 bills to pick up nickels. Like, just sleep more.
Yeah.
Just sleep more.
Absolutely.
If you want a coffee, have a coffee. You know what I mean? And to add to what you said too, like, it's funny when I was younger, like, you know, I love pre-workout and I love all that stuff. But the older I get, like, the things I use are to have a healthy heart, have a healthy prostate, have a good blood flow, things to help make sure my immune system is up. Like, I care more. And then obviously I would take a pre-workout here and there because they're sent to me. Yeah, that's better said. But
I mean, hey, we're talking about free stuff. That's like a different game. No.
but it's also different too, because like I don't take like 400 milligrams, 500 milligrams. Like I dose it. Like, did I have a coffee or energy drink or whatever?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna take another pre-workout. Like, I don't need any else, right?
Yeah.
Or if it's been a long day, if I have whenever I do my martial arts workouts, they're like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'm like, I need no extra juice.
Yes. Yeah.
No extra juice. But I think I think pre-workouts specifically should always be break in case of emergency. You need it, like, hey, I had some good sleep, but I had a long day at work. I just need a little something, whatever, and I don't have time for coffee or whatever. Yeah, because coffee is one of the best pre-workouts. I love a good coffee.
Actually, I actually read a study that, like, say, and this is maybe like pre-competition or whatever that competition might be, like the best kind of like, they didn't get it ready for it. It was like 300 milligrams of caffeine, like a little bit prior to, right? So I get you going.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like, again,
I like that though.
competition.
Yeah, you save that sparingly. Like, I even know, like,
Don't just do it.
people who like powerlift and stuff like that, they go off of caffeine for like 2-3 weeks, so that the kid just redo their adrenal glands, and then they take it so they can have a good performance.
Right.
So, but and also with protein powder too. Like, a lot of people abuse protein powder. Like, I should do 1 scoop and then 2 scoops. It's like some more food.
Yeah.
More food. Yeah, like real stuff.
Franchise.
Right?
Yeah.
And people, and it goes back to like trying to find
Quality protein, even.
Oh, that's
So, all right, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a lot of things that is just like absolutely trash for you. 100%.
most things are pretty trash.
Yeah.
I would agree. Sorry, I don't know. Okay, so virtual trading, pros and cons.
Sure. Oh, the obvious pros are.
You're still doing quite a bit, you were saying.
I do. I don't do virtual as much.
Okay.
I still do virtual training, but the main pros are you're able to help somebody in their own environment. So someone who's scared to come into the gym and doesn't like that environment, they're in a comfortable setting, and then they can, benefit from your knowledge base, right? So you can help them utilize the equipment that's been sitting in their house for years, that's been collecting all the clothes and dust and everything like that. So you can teach somebody at their own skill level, but you can help advance them at their own pace, at their own time from home. Okay, so that's the main pro. With it, the con with virtual training is it's still taking up your time. If you're sitting one-on-one virtually with somebody, that takes up your time, as opposed to an online. An online training is completely different. With
That was going to be my next question.
virtual training is like you're still taking your time, still being spent. So that's the only part. That's why I stopped doing it completely, because time is the most important. Sorry, not completely. I still do it to people. I do, but you want.
So you're thinking virtual, so virtual, like in person, like
Virtual is still like, yeah, like virtual to me is like, it's just still, yeah, so you're still doing a Zoom
or whatever you're doing, and you still train your time for that that session, right? Whereas online, it's totally different. Online, I'll never see anybody. It's program. What you're doing right away to me, and that's it. Thank God, do your thing, kind of thing. So
I've never done virtual, so I don't really have a dog in a fight. I don't know.
It was I mean, the whole world was doing it for years. And you know what? It did its job. Like it doesn't compare.
It will never compare to in person.
For that moment, I suppose.
Yeah.
For that time.
It's great if somebody doesn't want to come into a gym. And that's you know, that I agree. That's probably the number one part.
And there are still people. So I still have like the gym that I work at downtown still does a full schedule virtual classes, and they're
because there's still some people.
I mean, like schedule has been reduced obviously to like not a bunch of classes a day, but like there are still people in those classes who are either they could be on vacation for whatever reason, but there are the few.
Amazing. Wow.
There are the few that like have never even set foot into the actual gym. They're just not ready yet, and they like working out at home with their little 5-pound dumbbells. And you know what? They're paying for it. They're paying the membership.
Yeah.
And during the pandemic, it allowed the gym to stay where it was without having to shut down. It is difficult on the trainer's end sometimes when they're just like you're just looking at a screen. Because I've always had some Zoom classes where it's like group and there's 3 people, but none of them even have a camera on. So I'm looking at 3 names. I'm thinking like, have you ever? You draw my hands like I can't see you guys to help you out, and hoping that like they kind of like take their eyes. Well, they never do.
Yeah,
so they do. Same reason. That's why I hate doing classes like that when I have to do the virtual classes, because like I see 3 people and there's like 30 people with their cameras on them.
Yeah,
it's hard to stay motivated. It's like I know, like talking to the same 2 people. You're doing great. You're doing great. You're doing fantastic.
Love that. After a while, you realize you're just kind of twiddling your thumbs around. Yeah, you got this. But you never have to say the names anymore. You're just like, you guys are doing fantastic.
Yeah,
generally.
That's super. Okay, so how do we teach balance with our clients? Because
why are you asking first?
He's like, I'm kind of leading to like, why are we out?
What is this? I'm looking at it. When everyone's like, look at this.
I thought you were gonna go first. Oh man,
I shut the power down the first time.
That's true.
First 2 times.
I find sometimes they go all the way, like, no, I'm not going to drink on the weekend or whatever. And then once you start incorporating, like, no, you can relax, you can whatever. I mean, hard for people like...
I always try to explain it as I'm like, listen, this is a lifestyle, right? And you can never live 100% all the time. It's just never going to happen. Have you ever been able to do anything like that in your life? Right? Like you always waver here and there with everything, career, family, friends, working out, nutrition. And I said, I always try to look at it as like a long-term game and just tell them that they're going to have much more success if they allow some flexibility and balance in their life.
I feel like the reason people do that is because they view their favorite, and I came from the martial arts background, or like their favorite UFC guy, their favorite powerlifter, this and that, and they're following on this YouTube or like documentary of this people getting ready for a fight or a meet, and for those 8-10 weeks they're getting ready, they are living 100%, and the athletes do that, and they think they have to do that to look a certain way, and that's why they try to do that.
Yeah.
But again, what happens after that fight, after that bodybuilding show? They don't live 100%. They find that balance, or they don't, and they balloon up like crazy. There's people who do that as well.
Yeah.
But my favorite answer in all of fitness, and it's the only one I ever say is always going to be right, is it depends, because everybody's different. Everyone's balance looks different. Everyone's training is going to be different. Everyone's macronutrients will be different if they're trying to lose weight, gain, whatever. If they're trying to maintain, everyone is different. Like if Chris and I ate the same thing every single day, we would look like different people, right? It's different. Like it wouldn't work. It works for me, wouldn't work for him.
It works nice for you.
Fair.
Person we eat the same thing every day.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
3 different ways. There we go.
I'd be try that.
Isn't it hot?
Yeah. Come back and we're just like yoked to the gills.
3,300 calories. Let's go.
The same thing that we talked about this again too was when I did do that bodybuilding show. When you look at that picture of the way I looked on that day, like yes, I had to go into a very I'd say 4 months of prep, but like we're talking 8 weeks of serious dedication there. I'm like, that's not balance. And I can't look like that.
How was your 8 weeks at 100%?
Weeks at 100%. And then my body changed because I cannot live like that. Right. So nobody can. No, but that's, going back to social media, it's like people see that picture and they're like, holy shit, I want to look like that.
Right. You also, they think that you look like that all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you think if you think I look the way I always do when I was 170 pounds the day before a fight, you are sadly mistaken. Very mistaken.
It's not fun. I'm not my happiest when I look like that.
Well, yeah, you're hungry and miserable.
Well, a fighter who's cutting weight or a bodybuilder or whatever on stage, when they're tired, they're hungry, they're thirsty, they're so unhappy, but yet they're like,
yeah, because the cameras are on them. They have to be
most of the time. Yeah. So,
but I think the main thing is because most people, we don't train in that genre as much. You maybe, but most of us don't. I think, like Emery said, it's just going back to the basics with the people and just, reiterating the things that they need to focus on, which is get your training in, get your sleep, and get your food in as best as you can in towards your lifestyle. And we're going to try and help guide you. And, I'm here for support behind those things. But it's just like, I always tell my people, like, when they worry about the nutrition aspect or anything else like that, I was like, well, what's the best diet? What's the best diet someone that you're going to stick to?
Yeah.
It depends. So if McDonald's is your thing, I'm not going to say yeah or nah. Like, I may not personally like your choice, but if that's what makes you happy and you can feel that we can work something around your McDonald's fixation or whatever it is.
Maybe we have it a little bit less than we're having it now, right? But, reduce it a little bit.
For me, it's usually wine is the problem. I know why.
Like for you,
No, I don't drink it, but my clients.
Wine.
Wine.
No, that's for
Wine
sure.
is a big thing, right? So it's like, however, especially
talk about our problems, and I have a list.
From the corporate environment, it's like, always have to have that wine.
Yeah.
It's a daily thing. I'm like, then have it.
Yeah, like, maybe don't finish the bottle.
or just have fortune. Just, yeah. But yeah, that's true. But or have a little bit less than usual.
But again, it's like, and it was down to goal setting and just making them, trying to help them realize their schedule and how to get through their schedule and work within that parameter.
Making the adjustments based on that person and realizing that, like, listen, we can't live at 100% all the time.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna get you to where you want to go. It's not gonna take 8 weeks. It's gonna take much longer because that's how it realistically happens, and it stays that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, and that's balance and realizing that. Teaching balance is teaching them that this is a lifestyle, not a fad.
So it's a long-term lifestyle.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how do people in a gym who want a trainer spot a bad trainer? I'm not gonna look at you this time because I was.
He looked away immediately as well. I was like, I want to avoid this going first.
No, but so people in the gym. I mean, there's gonna be around people right now in gyms trying to.
I got a better. Let's add on to that. So if you see somebody in the gym being a trainer, would you approach them or would you help correct?
Sorry, if I saw a trainer working out.
So if you saw a trainer, are you asking if the trainer's doing something that's incorrect with somebody, or are you asking if you saw something?
How do you spot a bad trainer in general? Like, let's say, for example,
okay,
Somebody on their phone, someone not being attentive,
sitting down,
somebody having no, empathy for the client, somebody having no connection with their client.
or the client's form is off.
Exactly. Like more. Yeah. Obviously, like but like you see that, like you see trainers on their phone all the time.
It's their clients'
For Instagram, so that they can get something on Instagram, like, oh, look, my client's working out here. It's like, wow, okay, put the phone down and focus on the client, right? And like you can see it in the client. Is the client smiling? Is the client having a good time? Like, yes, they're here to work hard, but like you gotta make this the best hour of their day.
Right.
Yeah.
Paying a lot of money to be with you. You gotta make sure they get a good workout, but they're happy to be there.
Yeah. Are you a coach or are you a rep counter?
Yeah.
Simple as that. Like, again,
Yeah.
back on what they said, is the clients doing squats. The squat looks like crap. The trainer just goes over here. 1 more, 3, 4. You're doing great.
Yeah.
Like, you're not even looking.
Yeah.
Right? Or it's just like, you can see the trainer's eyes too. Like, they don't want to be there. It isn't. They don't care.
And that's also, I think that's more of the personal thing to that client, maybe. And if you have that one client that might be annoying to you, and you're like, oh my god, all right, that happens.
I have a question for you though, because you're saying when I go up to like a trainer. So sometimes I will go to a local gym in Aurora here and
Wonderful.
just no, like not that I work at, like just where I don't know anybody, and I go to work out sometimes, and I often see people doing things incorrectly, and like it's my like I want to go, like drive your knee out, like but I don't say any, like I'm not working. I have my headphones on, and I'm like, I don't want to make that person
Feel bad.
feel like they're not paying me for advice. Is this unsolicited? This is unsolicited advice. So do you guys go up and correct me when you're
Correct the trainer.
Yeah, you're not working, whether it's a trainer or just
I have said something to a trainer after the fact
okay.
when he was training somebody. Yeah. So I'll wait till after the fact. I'm like, hey, I saw you quiet, and I just was noticing the technique. Can you explain to me why you chose to do it?
Okay.
I just need to understand what was. And if they can't explain it to me properly, I'm like, if I show you a better way of doing it,
Yeah.
just so to help you and your clients
Sure,
understand.
that absolutely. But going up to like a random stranger.
No.
Yeah.
No. If I'm working out at the gym I work at, and then there's to be a client doing their own thing,
Sure, yes.
then
Yeah.
they might ask me because as a coach in your own gym, you can't get an hour to yourself sometimes. And then, or if they don't and they don't see anything wrong, I might go up to them after the fact as well. Be like, oh, by the way, first of all, saw you killing it out there. Awesome. One small thing. But if I'm going to a gym, I don't work out, don't know anybody, just keep to myself and get the hell out of here. Get my workout in and get.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I tried to.
It's hard.
I mean, if it's we're talking about, I won't like for a trainer. I did that with a trainer, but like for a random person, if I see something, I'll always interrupt them and be like, oh,
yeah. Okay.
oh yeah. If I see it's like shit, I'm like, yeah. It's also let me help.
That's like client also.
Well, this is on my client. It's just like if I see a kid doing deadlifts and he's got a hunchback and he's doing it, I'll be like, listen, take some weight off.
Yeah.
And let's just show you the right way so you can get strong.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee if you do it this way, and as trainers, like even if I show you one time, I know you're gonna revert back, but at least in this moment, let me make you feel strong for 5 minutes. I'm with you, and then you can see, and then I won't bother you again because I've already done my duty. I'm like, I showed you.
I showed you.
The rest is on you. That's on you, buddy.
Fair enough.
So CrossFit, good or bad for beginners?
If
You guys have done it, so I'm gonna.
oh man, like you need a good coach and a good gym. Like
coaching good.
Like I've been to some terrible CrossFit gyms, terrible coaches who are like, this is the Congo, and like you're a power lifter, you're Olympic lifting and doing movements that you have no experience with, like very dangerous.
Yeah. So.
But I've known and worked with and seen amazing CrossFit coaches, like who are super experienced and super knowledgeable. So it's like anything, right? Like you could have a crappy personal trainer, you could have a really good personal trainer. You have a really bad strategic coach or a really bad running coach. CrossFit has a bad name because
There's not really need.
I think it started with how they started, right? Because wasn't their logo originally that Rabdo, the clown, was there with? Remember? You didn't know that? That was their original logo. So it was like they were known. So that's how things have evolved. So they had the clown, Rabdo Mellows. Yeah. So they had Rabdo as their clown. And then, but that was their whole motif. It was like, our workouts will kill you. And we specialize in unspecializing. So it's like we do everything. And I think that's what started them having a bad name. But as it evolved, like CrossFit gyms now are way better now than what they used to be.
You go for so when I went to get my CrossFit level 1, it was an incredible 2-day course, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people were there just who love CrossFit and wanted to learn more about it. I thought that was really cool. I mean, my intention, I was already training. I was like, okay, I want to coach at a CrossFit gym. But the coaches there, they were unbelievable, these coaches. Like I learned so much in those 2 days. And they said, listen, you should not be going and coaching tomorrow. You need to go and work under somebody for the next 6 months. That's a great apprentice with them. Yeah. Apprentice with them, then you can start coaching. And I was like, okay, I gotcha. Like, even though I felt like, I learned a lot, I wasn't ready to go and coach.
But that's the problem, right?
But like, there's so many people, like, I took a 2-day course, I can teach somebody how to snatch. Like, no, you can't.
Well, I found that over there, and was before.
Right.
And I remember doing a class, I think it was like 30 snatches, 30 clean and press for time. I forget the name of that workout now, but it's actually a workout that they have. So it's 30 clean and press, right? Smash it out, it's done. And I'm watching, and in this class, there's clearly beginners that should not have even been. The guy can't even clean. I'm like, but I did go to I'm not a coach, but I want to help you a little bit because I just don't want to see this person get hurt. And for me, I'm thinking, you should not even be in this. Like, you should be in a beginner class, or you should have something totally separate to teach you proper mechanics, Because what was a 3-minute workout for this guy was like almost all 30 minutes.
Yeah.
30. Right.
Yeah.
Waiting on you.
I think CrossFit's like, if that's what you love, awesome. It's making you
Exactly.
work out and exercise, and it's fun, and the community is really great. I've never seen a gym where the community is so involved. I love that.
And that's what keeps it.
It brings people together. That's what it keeps people coming back. But once again, it just comes down to the coaching. So you got
And the programming.
gym in the program. You got to pick the gym appropriately, and if you get in a good one, you're gonna have an awesome time, and you'll see. Yeah, you'll love it. You'll see changes. It's a spectrum, like anything.
That's fair. So fitness apps, like, do you think it's okay for long-term success for somebody who just doesn't go to the gym, just use a fitness app like
Freeletics or whatever, you download a free app and you get a bunch of workouts and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's good to start out if you're going from ground zero. Like, anything is better than nothing. Like, going for walks is better than nothing. But I think you're probably going to hit a plateau relatively early on, depending where you're starting from. And then at some point, like, you're going to have to find a barbell somewhere to
Or coach.
where a coach, yeah.
What if the app has like barbell bench press on it?
It's everything he said is 100. I think the only problem is like once they hit the plateau, where they go, like those most apps don't have a progression to the workouts. That's what I'm.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've never used one, so I don't know.
I would say that it's actually, I would kind of say the other side, where if it was somebody like me who's been working out for 10 plus years, like I'm very familiar with movements. Going onto an app, it's like, I just don't want to write my workout. So
Be perfect.
I'm safe to do this.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
can move well, but like somebody who doesn't know how to move well, or doesn't know how to deadlift, or even like deadlifting with dumbbells, you can really hurt yourself, right? So, and I imagine those are the kinds of exercises that are on those apps, or something dumbbell based.
Your body weight based, depending on what app you get.
But like,
True.
you might, if you have absolutely no experience, probably not the best way.
I think because there are apps out there owned by coaches, and the coach can go in and change the programming as well. It depends if it's like individualized programming or like just workouts Coach A puts out into the world for thousands of people to use. I'm not sure. I don't know. There's every which and way. In which case, then yeah, that app could be great for the experienced athlete. Maybe that person has check-ins with that coach via the app. I'm not sure. It just depends. Again, it depends on the app, right? If it is just like a free app you can get, like Freeletics or whatever, it gives you a workout and go, then sure. But if it's like, this is Chris's fitness app, and Chris is going to give you a workout, and you're going to do this program for 8 weeks, and afterwards he's got to change it for you, then sure, I think it's fantastic.
Because that's basically virtual training then.
Yes.
Well,
That's online training.
Yeah.
If you can afford to get your own app made, then yeah, have at it.
oh, it's easy.
Yeah.
I'll say something. I was like, I don't give a plug. No.
Say it.
Well, trainers.com is like the way for most trainers to start online. You get your app with them, and
Yeah,
it's got everything you need. There you go.
Trainerize is actually really good.
What's it?
And Trainerize.
There's also one called Train Heroic.
Trainerize is
really
also
good.
good too.
Yeah.
Most of them, I've used 3.
How
So
much
I've found that's the thing, right? So it's like
arranges.
it ranges because there's tiers depending on the number of clients you have. There's little things like that. Some are better than others. Some have a better library than others of workouts. Or you can spend the time and do it yourself, which
Yeah.
will take a year. But yeah, like
Okay.
just interesting.
What's the biggest lie that the fitness industry tells the common people?
That it's like what we were talking about in the beginning. Like it's
Yeah.
quick.
You can do it in 8 weeks, 8 weeks to get out of
Yeah.
any builder in 10 days.
Yeah.
When you build a workouts I've seen, yeah, sure.
Easy.
These girls, no banded one.
Yeah.
They have the biggest, most sculpted butts you've seen.
Right.
Yeah,
I can guarantee you these girls are deadlifting 300 pounds. Like they're not doing banded workouts.
it goes back to the whole. It goes back to influencers online. Buy my 8-week booty builder program, but they're not doing that program themselves, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're also, what are they eating?
yeah,
Right? Like,
Yeah, that's true.
There's just too many to name because it spans from whether it's a fitness workout, whether it's a nutritional, it's like so many different fads that come in out quick, and like I said, this new era is all about quick and fast. How do we get this result today?
Yeah, Instagram.
And reality will take down. Like the reality is it takes time. How long does it take you to get to the state that you're in right now? Well, I haven't done anything in 10 years. Okay. We got 10 years to work.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Or try to like model yourself after. Be like, I have clients who will send me pictures of women and be like, I want to look like this. I'm like, I can't change the way your hips are.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, it's not that right. I can't do that. You know, it's that's the craziest. Just
I've got clients like, how long would it take me to look like this guy? I'm like, well, he's 6'8" and 5'2", so yeah.
What do you guys think about celebrities starting to get into the fitness industry? You know, like Chris Hemsworth, you know, creating the Center app and saying, you know, I use this app or I take these supplements to become Thor 3. And now, like, let's be honest, whenever like somebody gets cast as like a superhero, all of a sudden, you know, you'll cheat them for like 6 months, and then they have the men's health. It's like, let's check my fridge. I do these workouts, and then they start selling things, and I understand it's a business at the end.
Yeah.
Like, I know the guy from Shazam. He started working out, and then he has a supplement business.
Okay.
Right. So I get, as an entrepreneur, like,
Yeah.
there's a niche there, but it's kind of the thing. It's like, but what about your coach? You know, I want to talk to your coach.
So
Yeah.
what I do like, going back to Chris Hemsworth, first of all, love that guy. I think he's awesome, great actor. But his Center app is not just him. Like the coaches he worked with to become Thor and all this guys, they're on the app. They're the ones doing like the programming.
They're just using him as a brand.
He's the face.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I like about him. But like I didn't know about the Shazam guy having a supplement business. I have no idea. He probably knew nothing about it.
I think when it comes to that industry, it must be real leverage. You're getting paid millions of dollars to look a certain way for a certain period of time. Is there going to be enhancements to get that? Most likely, but because you're never talking, you're not competing. They can't talk
But
about
definitely for like Batman, right? When he was doing Batman, they asked him to be Batman, direct Batman, write Batman,
it.
and then he was enhanced, and then he started doing, like, he had alcohol problems, then he had a divorce, and like that's a lot on a celebrity, right? And so.
And so, as long as actors, you hear them say, "I don't want to do this part again," because I'm sure at the regiment that they had to go through, and she listened to them, they all say the same shit. I had chicken and broccoli rice. And chicken broccoli and rice. Chicken broccoli and rice is what I had to live on. Oh, I had to live on chicken.
Butler at one time.
But Jerome Butler was training here.
Yeah,
300.
Yeah, he was, but he doesn't talk about that stuff anymore. Sometimes those celebrities, they overtrain for that role, and then they hate training right after. Right? Because it's like too much. Yeah.
Well, they go from 0 to 100, and you can't live 100% for that role.
Yeah.
It's do whatever.
It's a job. It's a job. That's their job, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so I have I've got no problem with if you have to be Superman, then you better look like Superman.
And that's 100%.
Yeah.
So you got to do. No one cares how much money. Like, I do it. You think The Rock is natural?
The Rock is down and not natural right now.
Just saying.
Terramana.
Listen, if you gotta be Black Adam, you be Black Adam and get paid.
No one cares.
Get your money. Make your money. If you asked me to be Superman tomorrow, I'd be like, I need to call a guy. Like,
Liver King, you gotta be Liver King.
Yeah, whatever. Like, again, you're not competing. You're not, and but I would not go and try to sell my training plan or supplements.
Yeah.
Because like
That's the problem.
didn't use them.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it's like Kim Kardashian trying to sell like a glute program.
Oh, right?
You know, like build your glutes. Like,
You didn't mention the injections, did you?
leaks. Yeah. It's like, I don't know.
Get that BB out.
Yeah, forget that. But yeah, I don't know. That bothers me with celebrities if they try to start selling stuff
Yeah.
with that, because I'm like, okay, I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
But like, I want, like, if your coach is involved, like you just said, with Chris Hemsworth and stuff like that, then whatever. You're the face.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
If you go into it, like you see, you guys know his coach, what is it, like Rolk or whatever? Like, yeah, he's a big part of that. A bunch of other guys, nutritionists, like they're all part of the app. They make the workouts, they make the programming. I mean, he may have some part in it. Like he can probably put together a circuit at this point, but like, it's not like, I don't know, he's not making all the programming, and he promotes the coaches to help them get to around. So that's why I like him per se. I mean, you brought him up, but there's probably there's probably 1,000 other actresses actors or actresses who make their own fitness apps, and it's not them at all. But there's like, join my fitness app and do this. Like it's not real.
Well, that's all I have for you guys. Is there anything you want to talk about? Anything that you guys thought about in the fitness industry that, you know, you guys kind of want to bring to the forefront?
I think we covered a lot of what we wanted to say, like in terms of I mean, like,
Is there anything, that's been you guys seen in a trend when it comes to trainers or trend when it comes to fitness that you guys like or dislike?
We talked about.
Thinking, like taking to me it's always about like it always comes down to balance. And like I hate when I see trainers who are like this like 100% or nothing. And I think fitness just has to be it's a lifestyle. We talked about like this is about long-term goals, right? We're not trying to get the short-term goals. If we need to refocus that mindset, think about a healthy lifestyle. Like I was thinking, I have 2 kids. I'm like, one day they're going to have kids. Like I want to have enough energy to be able to play with them and to travel with them. And, I would just want to longevity.
Absolutely. Because too many people focus on the destination, but
Don't enjoy the journey. And
Yeah.
I think you need to learn to love the journey because the destination is always going to be there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just,
If you love the journey, the destination comes as a side effect. Next thing you know, you're there and you're already actually past it.
right.
That's what I see too about like aesthetics. I'm like, if you just like enjoy working out and work out and consistently do it and eat, pretty well, the aesthetics will come. Yeah.
Better, yeah.
Come.
The results will come. I think on that, I think of something that a trend I don't like in fitness is back to social media. It's all these like trending types of content to make to try to get more followers, to try to get like sponsored by these brands.
And what, like an example, like what?
Man, it's hard to say. Like you'll go through your reels and see just like the 3 different people post the exact same thing with the word for word because
The following kind of
try to go your following all that stuff. And
that's because they're pushing the whole social influencer.
yeah, like they're not trying to
It's social influencer to get money to do this thing online, and
people are associated like a big following with like a good coach. And that's also that's something I really,
Do you guys get most of your clients from Instagram?
I've gotten 0 clients, 0 Instagram.
No, yeah.
I've got
Yeah.
for online.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, I shouldn't say 0, but like
No, 0 for me.
like maybe like one or but like not a high number.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
Like I think I kind of like one hand the amount of people I've gotten from Instagram.
Right.
Mine is more referral based.
Yeah.
Referral.
So
Yeah.
it's very percent.
I mean, you're good. People are going to tell other people
Exactly.
that you're good. Right.
I know all it takes is one conversation and then the rest is history.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys being on. You guys are thanks for having us. For having on. It was different. I like it. What's your Instagram?
At what is mine? Get fit with AM.
What's your Instagram?
Robby Moss _ So Robbie with a Y, by the way, not an IE. Don't do that.
Yes, sir.
and at @redlac_fitness.
Beautiful. Well, I appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you guys being on. And that's it. See you guys.
Thank you.